Hello and welcome back to WWE 2K20 Universe Mode, and we are back after Hell in a Cell and moving forward towards Survivor Series. And of course, our general manager of Monday Night Raw, Batista, is out here to have some words about what is going to be going down at Survivor Series. But if you missed out on Hell in a Cell, make sure to go back, check it out, and before watching this video, leave us a like, a subscribe, and a comment down below. It is all greatly appreciated and helps the growth of the channel. But let's get back to the topic at hand. Batista, Team Raw, Survivor Series, brand warfare. What brand is going to come out on top at Survivor Series? Will it be Team Raw or will it be Team SmackDown? Of course, at Survivor Series, we will be having General Manager versus General Manager. Batista will be going one-on-one with the SmackDown General Manager, Shane McMahon, at Survivor Series. And well, that one seems like a very one-sided fight at the moment being, but I'm sure Batista has some words and he is ready to speak them to us right now. Survivor Series, SmackDown versus Raw. Whichever brand comes out on top gets the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble and gets the first draft pick in the post-WrestleMania draft. But when I destroy SmackDown and put down Shane McMahon, I'll be able to buy my third mansion with the pay rise I'll be getting. So Raw superstars, you better dominate at Survivor Series or you will face my wrath. Ooh, bold words from our general manager Batista there. Calling out Shane McMahon, calling out the rest of the roster, but wait a second. Talking about my wrath. Aleister Black, you somehow managed to defeat Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell, but only because you blindsided Andrade backstage. So as punishment, you will be defending the United States Championship every Raw before Survivor Series. And the future WWE Champion Andrade will be my captain of the Men's Survivor Series team. Don't let me down, Team Raw. Well, there you go, Batista laying it down to the Raw roster. Particularly Aleister Black still having his issues with Aleister Black, the United States Champion. He will be defending his title later tonight in this episode of Raw. But let's get things started here with a Survivor Series qualifying match. Which one of these men will qualify for the Men's Survivor Series team? And as we found out by Batista at the beginning of the show, the leader of the Men's Survivor Series team will be Andrade. Andrade getting the special treatment, not having to qualify for this match at all. And that's like what you get, I guess, when you're on the general manager's payroll and in his close-knit group of friends. You get whatever you want. But you got to think, if Andrade manages to lose it for Team Raw, that is not going to look good, and Batista will not be happy when Andrade manages to mess that one up. But Pete Dunne out here looking to get a big victory and get into Survivor Series. Look to prove himself here on Monday Night Raw, but he has a tough challenge at hand going up against this man right here, Sheamus. Now he has had quite an eventful time as of late. After pinning Drew McIntyre a few weeks ago, the WWE Champion, he believes that he is on a path to the gold, to the WWE Championship, and he deserves an opportunity at that championship. He thinks he already should have had it. He thinks he should have had a Hell in a Cell. Which is why, after the match between Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor, Sheamus made an appearance, taking out Drew McIntyre, attacking Drew with his own championship belt. But of course, we are moving into Survivor Series. It is brand versus brand. So Sheamus, he is going to have to wait if he wants to get his hands on Drew McIntyre. Drew is going to be very busy with having to take on the Universal Champion Tommaso Ciampa at Survivor Series. I apologise. That is what he has his focus on. Sheamus, well, he can assist Team Raw or he can be a hindrance to Team Raw. I'll see which one he is going to be, but he has been chosen by Batista to go into this qualifying match, and you can see why. Someone who can pin Drew McIntyre, it says a lot about a man. But can Sheamus get through Pete Dunne tonight? You have to remember, when we had the number one Battle Royal, the number one Contenders Battle Royal a few weeks ago, it was Pete Dunne who managed to eliminate Sheamus from that Battle Royal. A huge upset for Pete Dunne at the time. And Pete looking to make it 2 for 2 with the pinfall victory over Sheamus here tonight. It's going to be very interesting. It's very different throwing someone over the top rope than getting a pinfall victory over them. But Pete Dunne now calling Sheamus back in the ring. The size disadvantage, I should say, of Pete Dunne here. It really shows looking at these two men side by side. But Pete getting a DDT through the middle rope there. Very nice of Pete. Taking Sheamus down to the mat. Now needs to stay on top of Sheamus. Definitely the smart thing to do right now would be to stay on top of Sheamus. You have to wonder how Drew McIntyre is feeling after Hell in a Cell. After retaining his WWE Championship and then having to come face to face with Sheamus. You have to wonder how he is feeling, but I'm sure he is backstage watching this match very closely indeed. He knows that Sheamus is in his future. And while I'm sure that he will be watching this very closely, wanting to get ready, prepare himself so that he will not come up short once again to Sheamus. But this time all the stakes will be on the line, because you'd have to assume it will be for that WWE Championship. But of course nothing is set in stone just yet. Pete Dunne now managing to whip Sheamus into the corner and working on the arm of Sheamus. Trying to break that arm, trying to damage it so that Pete can manage to lock in an armbar potentially and have an easier access to getting to that bitter end. Pete managing to get advantage of Sheamus right now. Sheamus was doing quite well in the early beginnings of this match. Now Pete managing to get a series of offense onto Sheamus, trying to keep him down in this contest. And now Pete up to the top rope. Big moonsault from Pete Dunne. Is that going to be able to put away Sheamus? Not going for the pin right now. But this is just what Pete Dunne needs in this one. Nice enziguri from Pete and Sheamus. Wisely rolling out of the ring. Not wanting to get caught by Pete Dunne. And Pete once again catching Sheamus, not giving him a second to breathe. DDT through the middle ropes. Not allowing Sheamus a second of rest in this one is Pete Dunne. Oh, but there you go, Sheamus avoiding the punch from Pete Dunne. And now catching him and taking him down with a big axe handle there. And now punches to the face. In he goes, taking the punishment to Pete Dunne. Sheamus back on top of Dunne right now, and he is not letting up, just laying in those punches to the face of Pete Dunne. The Irishman not letting up in the slightest. And now up he goes, and down he goes as well. Big suplex from Sheamus. Very easy for Sheamus to do with someone of Pete Dunne's size. Now Sheamus into the corner. What is he looking for here? But Pete managing to get the reverse, managing to get the knee to the gut of Sheamus, pulling him back up to his feet. A lot closer match than we would have expected. Now Pete again going for the arm, working on that arm of Sheamus, that left arm, and stomping down on the back of him. That technical prowess that we know from Pete Dunne. But Sheamus not being outpowered. Pete was trying to go for that arm again, but Sheamus reversing knee to the face of Pete Dunne. And up he goes. Oh no, this is not good for Pete Dunne. He is up on the shoulders, and you know what that means. The white noise from Sheamus to Pete Dunne. And he's going for the pinfall. Is that enough to put away Pete Dunne? 1, 2. No. Pete Dunne just managing to kick out of the white noise from Sheamus. But Sheamus not letting up, getting in those kicks to Pete Dunne, to the midsection of Dunne, and now dropping him over the knee with a backbreaker. And Pete Dunne managing to get out of the ring before Sheamus can set up for that bro kick that you know is coming. You know it is there, and there it is. But the referee knocked down the referee. Is the referee going to be able to get back in time? Pete Dunne getting out of the bro kick. I thought that was going to be it, but Pete Dunne managed to get out of it, and Sheamus very, very annoyed with the referee. And you can't blame him, to be honest. Even though it was Sheamus' own fault, Sheamus hit the referee by accident. And now taking down the referee on his own. But wait a second, Pete Dunne. Oh my goodness. Pete Dunne, is this it? 1, 2. Oh, Sheamus just kicking out Pete Dunne. Almost took a big win there. Took advantage of the fact that Sheamus was completely distracted with the referee, thinking he should have won the match. But now Pete calling for the bitter end, but Sheamus reversing, kicking to the midsection of Pete Dunne. Oh, a big body slam there from Sheamus to Dunne. And that might have been Dunne's opportunity, because now he's being caught into those Irish Curse backbreakers, the multiple backbreakers from Sheamus. Oh my goodness. Pete Dunne's back is going to be in agony after that one. But you know what this means? He is getting Pete Dunne up to his feet. And the referee staying way back this time, and the bro kick again from Sheamus to Pete Dunne. 1, 2, 3, and Sheamus moves forward to be part of the Men's Survivor Series match. He will be joining Andrade in that match so far. And that is looking like a very nice team indeed at the moment, being Sheamus and Andrade, two men who are potentially future WWE champions. You heard Batista say about Andrade, and well, Sheamus has his eyes firmly fixed on Drew McIntyre going forwards. But at Survivor Series, it's all going to be about Team Raw for Sheamus. That's one way he can put aside his anger with Drew McIntyre, though. Wait a second, though. Ali from SmackDown, the first shot being fired by SmackDown. Ali, the one and a half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, coming out here attacking Sheamus. The first blow, the first shot between the brands. But Sheamus was ready for this. Never mind, Ali catching him again, taking him straight back down. Sheamus catching the leg, and oh no, not good for Ali. He is up for that Celtic cross. Oh my goodness. Well, Sheamus has sent Ali packing tonight, but will it be the same at Survivor Series? But next I move on to a match in our women's division. The Iconics, one half of the Iconics, Billie Kay, will be in action here tonight. Looking to go up against one of the women who's been on a bit of an upwards momentum at the moment in Universe modes, on Monday Night Raw specifically. She has been on a roll in recent weeks, is looking to continue that with a big victory over Billie Kay here tonight. But Billie is not going to make this easy for Bianca Belair in the slightest. It's going to be very interesting indeed to see how this one goes. Billie Kay was ready for Bianca when this match was starting. Now Billie was waiting for Bianca to get down to the ring. And just look at that, the classic behaviour of Billie Kay. But Bianca Belair came in, showed off her strength, slamming Billie Kay to the mat. But Billie managed to get herself back into this with Bianca in the corner, getting those elbows to the head. It was a very even match to begin with between these two women. And Billie Kay did not let Bianca rest at all, continuing to abuse her at this point in the split drop. But Bianca going for the pinfall on Bianca at that point, but she did hit that Shades of K. It looked like it was over, but instead Bianca trying to go for the KOD, getting caught by Billie. A series of reversals until eventually Bianca did get her up for the KOD, the kiss of death, and down she goes. And that was all that was written for Billie Kay on this night. And 1, 2, 3. Bianca Belair picking up another big victory. But the Iconics have issued a challenge for next week, telling Bianca to get a tag team partner for next week's episode of Raw. So next week it will be the Iconics versus Bianca and a mystery tag partner of her choosing. But for tonight, Bianca continuing to pick up some big wins here in Universe mode, getting momentum on her side on Monday Night Raw. But who will her tag partner be? We will have to wait and find out. But now we move on to
WWE United States Championship.
As was said for me, the United States Championship is on the line. As Batista said earlier tonight, the United States Championship will be on the line every single Raw on the way to Survivor Series. Batista has had his issues with Aleister Black, the United States Champion, and while telling him that he was going to take that championship away from Aleister Black, the man who isn't really a Raw superstar. Well, he is, according to Batista, because he had a match on SmackDown back in the day. According to Batista, that means that Aleister Black is not worthy of being on Raw, and he keeps beating everyone up with his little undefeated streak, which of course got broken by Randy Orton and Andrade in a 2-on-1 handicap match. But Aleister Black, he still held on to the United States Championship at Hell in a Cell, beating Randy Orton in that no disqualification match when it looked like it was all over for Aleister Black. But you have to remember what he did at the end of the first part of Hell in a Cell. He was the first man to ever come out and threaten the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. But it was the six-man tag between the Fiend and the Fiendish Hardy Boys versus the Club over the Freedom and the Raw Tag Team titles. AJ and the Club picked up the big victory, but the Fiend got the last laugh in, with AJ disappearing before AJ could get in a phenomenal forearm against the Fiend. But the Fiend was a bit cocky, coming back into the ring to celebrate this victory, this mental victory over AJ Styles, and Aleister Black ran down, confronting the Fiend face to face. The first man who has ever done this, who's ever been brave enough to take it to the Fiend. And this is what he's rewarded with. He's rewarded with having to defend his United States Championship every night before Survivor Series. You gotta wonder what goes through Batista's head sometimes. But tonight he goes up against Cedric Alexander, a man who was just looking for a big victory here in Universe Mode. Cedric answering the challenge. Batista just put it out as an open challenge. Anyone in the bag could do it, and Cedric Alexander was the first man to get there. He is chomping at the bit for an opportunity like this. He had quite a good start in Universe Mode. He had some potential at the beginning, but he's kind of disappeared. He's disappeared on Monday Night Raw ever since the start of Universe Mode. Honestly, he could do with this big victory. This could be the spotlight that he needs just to get himself back in action here on Monday Night Raw. But this is not necessarily the start he would have wanted against Aleister Black. You can't forget Aleister Black. He is undefeated on Monday Night Raw in singles contest, I can still say. Since coming to Monday Night Raw, becoming the United States Champion, he has been undefeated in singles action. He has held on to that championship ever since he got it, defeating Matt Hardy for that championship. And of course, the symmetry there, Matt Hardy now a part of, he is with the Fiend, with the Fiendish Hardy Boys. They are with the Fiend currently. Well, maybe there's another issue there, perhaps. Aleister Black has seen what Matt Hardy can do in the ring. Perhaps he doesn't like what the Fiend has done with Matt Hardy as well. But Aleister Black is held on to that championship. Of course, he lost in that 2-on-1 handicap match against Andrade and Orton a couple of weeks ago. But in singles competition, he is still the man. And as long as he holds on to that United States Championship, you cannot deny that he is the man. Alexander getting in a good kick to the side of the head of Aleister Black there. It was very nice indeed. Now Aleister, though, getting back into the competition, throwing Cedric Alexander down to the mat, and then the double stomps to the chest. Getting in the big kick to follow up. You have to wonder what Aleister thinks about all this. He's a very silent man, doesn't particularly give his opinions much. The running knee, though, the running knee to the face, I apologise, caught me completely off guard. Going for the pinfall on Alexander. 1, 2, only a 2 count, sorry. Caught me completely off guard there. But you have to wonder what Aleister is thinking. Who knows what's going through his head, whether he enjoys all of this. Only a 1 cut there for that roll-up from Black. But whether he enjoys this, whether he wants to be having all these matches defending his championship, what his opinion on this whole Batista and the Fiend situation is, maybe at some point we will hear from him, but he is a man who keeps to himself. He doesn't want to deal with anyone else. He's a bit of an enigma of a man, let's be honest. But Cedric Alexander trying to get himself back into this match, trying to come back into this, but now Aleister Black catching Cedric for a roll-up. 1 count again from Aleister Black. You can't deny whenever Black is out, he does have a match of the night contender in these United States Championship matches. He has had to defend this championship probably more than anyone else has had to in Universe Mode. Oh, so close there for Cedric. That could have been it for Cedric Alexander, but Aleister Black just managing to kick out at the last second there. You have to wonder whatever challenges might be waiting Aleister Black if he manages to defend his United States Championship here tonight. The big kick to the side of the head to Cedric. Is Cedric out 1? Only a 1 count. Unbelievable there Very surprising indeed that Aleister Black, well, the Cedric Alexander was able to kick out so quickly after that kick to the side of the head, and another double stomp from Black, followed up by that kick to the chest. And now Black up to the top rope. And turning around looking for that big old moonsault to Cedric with the knees. Cedric getting the knees up, preventing Aleister Black from being able to land that moonsault. Now Cedric taking the advantage. Enziguri. Can Cedric Alexander get the upset of the century? Taking down Black again, but Black wisely rolling to the outside, knowing that's where his championship is the safest. Not wanting to get caught by a roll-up from Cedric. Now throwing Cedric into the corner of the ring post. Not necessarily what you expect to see from Black, but Cedric Alexander clearly proving to be more of a challenge than Black was expecting, and now Black going up again. And this time the double stomps, but Cedric moving out of the way again. Whenever Aleister Black's going high risk, Cedric is getting out of the way, he is seeing it coming. And now Cedric and Black back in the middle of the ring. Big kick to the midsection of Black, taking him off his feet. And now pulling him back up. Is he going to go for that lumbar check? No, Aleister Black reversing. Black mass caught, throwing Aleister Black down. Oh my goodness. Aleister Black not letting up, taking down Cedric with a huge suplex. Really pushing him down now into the corner, looking for that running knee to the face, looking to knock out Cedric Alexander. This could be it. Oh, but he moves out of the way. Avoiding the running knee from Aleister Black. Cedric Alexander managing to stay alive in this one. But Aleister Black not letting up, even though Cedric is managing to get away from the big moves. It has not been enough for Alexander. He has been struggling to, well, I say whatever I was saying, it doesn't matter anymore. Black mass to the side of the head. Is that enough to put away Cedric Alexander? 1, 2, 3. Oh my god. Okay, never mind. Cedric Alexander still in this. I take it back completely. Cedric somehow being able to kick out of the black mass. Unbelievable there from Cedric Alexander. Now Aleister back up to the top again, but this time landing the double stomps to the chest. Cedric not being able to avoid it this time. And now calling Cedric Alexander back up to his feet, looking for that third attempt to the running knee perhaps. Instead, changing his mind, going over the top DDT, knowing that Cedric perhaps has Aleister's number on that running knee. And now once again, the foot under the chin, pulling him up, and black mass. That's got to be it. 1, 2, 3. Well, that was a good showing indeed there from Cedric Alexander. You cannot deny that. A very good showing indeed, but still your United States champion. For now, of course. Who knows whether he still will be by Survivor Series, but for now he is still your United States champion. And you can't forget, even if he manages to make his way through all these matches, that just means he gets the opportunity to go to Survivor Series. And in a Survivor Series, he is going to have to deal with the new Intercontinental Champion, Seth Rollins. I hope Aleister holds on to that championship, because that is a match I would love to see. Seth Rollins, the Intercontinental Champion, versus Aleister Black, the United States Champion. We'll have to see whether Aleister can hold onto the gold over the next few weeks. But next up, we move on to some tag team action here on Monday Night Raw. Nese and Thorne, again, looking, desperately searching, desperately looking for the big win, their first big win here in Universe Mode. They have been trying so hard as a tag team to get a big win. They are not giving up, but tonight it's going to be a tough one for them. They're going up against the new Raw Tag Team Champions, the Club, and joined out here tonight by AJ Styles, the man who is finally free of the Fiend, and he is back here on Monday Night Raw. Taking a little bit of break from in-ring action, but he is back here on Monday Night Raw. And of course, Survivor Series, we'll see the Raw Tag Champions Gallows and Anderson versus Ricochet and Ali, our SmackDown Tag Team Champions, as long as both teams still have their gold by the time Survivor Series happens. And that would be a fascinating match indeed. But in this match, Shane Thorne looked for the early advantage, catching Kyle Anderson with a big kick to the side of the head, looking to work solely on the smaller man, knowing that once Gallows was in, this was going to be a dangerous match. Tried to get that sleeper hold locked in, but he was far too early. Anderson getting up, showing that he has the strength to slamming, trying to slam him down, but it all changed when Gallows got in the ring. It was not looking good for Tony Nese. Gallows continually hitting these big splashes to the chest of Tony Nese. He was not letting up in the slightest. And he looked to put him away with this huge bear hug, but you cannot deny the fortitude that these two have. Shane Thorne and Tony Nese, they do not give up easy. They do not give up easy in the slightest. They continue to fight back, and Shane got these big kicks into Gallows in the corner, but Tony Nese wasn't there in time for the tag, allowing Gallows and Anderson to get back to their corner to be able to hit this huge magic killer. The Raw Tag Team Champions picking up a big win on their first night as Raw as champions. And of course, you have to wonder, if they go up against Ricochet and Ali, that is going to be fascinating. Gallows outsizes them by so much, but you cannot deny how talented Ricochet and Ali are as a tag team. A surprisingly good unit they have become as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. But for tonight, a celebration for the club, a celebration of Raw Tag Team Championships and AJ Styles back on Raw. But we'll move on to our main event for the evening. It is a huge women's tag team match. But before we get into that, we've got to talk back a Hell in a Cell. Becky Lynch had her opportunity, and as you can see, she is not out here tonight with the Money in the Bank briefcase. She is just out here by herself. She failed against Shayna Baszler. Shayna managed to retain her briefcase, getting it down from above the ring in that ladder match. And honestly, it was a shorter match than we were expecting. I had to be honest on that one. Shayna manages to get out there, toss Becky off the top of the ladder and get that briefcase down. But for tonight, we have a tag team contest. Becky and Charlotte teaming up to go up against Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Of course, Ronda and Shayna do have tag team experience. They were in the first ever match for the Women's Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam. Well, unfortunately, they did come up short to Dakota Kai and Nia Jax in that one. But since then, Ronda Rousey, it's kind of the only thing she's really lost here in Universe Mode, to be honest with you. And Shayna Baszler, well, Miss Money in the Bank, riding high, on top of the world still. And Alexa Bliss, you've got to think she has got to be worried. She has got to be very concerned about that championship that she holds around her waist with Shayna Baszler around. But I can confirm to you from Batista directly, this is the 4 women that he has personally selected for the Survivor Series women's team to go up against SmackDown, and I can't deny it's a very good selection. But there's a lot of issues between these guys. There was a lot of issues indeed. Having Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler on the same team after Shayna cost Becky Lynch her Raw Women's Championship, and the bitter rivalry they've been having going on, it's probably not the best idea, to be honest with you, but you can't deny that they are 2 of the best athletes here on Monday Night Raw. And Ronda Rousey, well, her entire career speaks for her. Everything she has done outside of the ring, in the octagon, it all speaks entirely for her. And she is a very talented woman indeed in this ring as well. You have to wonder, these guys, are they going to be able to get along at Survivor Series? They are opponents here tonight, but they will have to be partners, teaming up for Monday Night Raw. See if they can actually get that big victory for Monday Night Raw. Otherwise, Batista, like you said earlier, he's going to be very upset with them all. But Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch starting this one off, probably to no surprise. I don't think Shayna Baszler, whenever she's been in a match with Becky Lynch, she always avoids her. She doesn't want to be in there with Becky Lynch. She likes to prove that she is better than Becky by the fact that she just doesn't really face Becky in these kind of matches. We've had a couple of these tag team matches like this, and she just always avoids her. Always avoids Becky Lynch, but now Ronda locking in that sleeper hold on Becky Lynch. Is that going to be enough? But Becky dropping her down with the jawbreaker there. Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. A very interesting matchup between these two women. But Becky in that big exploder suplex. That could be enough to put away Ronda very early in this one. Going for the pinfall on Ronda Rousey. One. Ronda kicking out with one far too early in this match. But it also shows the fortitude of Ronda Rousey. The Beck Exploder is definitely a move that Becky Lynch has put people away with before. She's managed to pin lots of people with that move. And Shayna tagging in briefly. Big knee catching Becky Lynch. No, knees to the face of Becky Lynch. Oh my goodness. Only if Tay wanting to be with Becky Lynch when Becky is down now laughing at the former Raw Women's Champion. And Becky taking advantage of Shayna, catching Shayna. Oh my goodness. Shayna not going to be happy with that one. Becky needing to get the tag though after those knees to the face. Getting the tag to Charlotte Flair. Probably the woman who stands out the most in this match is not having the opportunities that the others have. Charlotte Shaw's had some big matches on Monday Night Raw. She was in our main event, our first ever Raw main event with our women in it. But she hasn't necessarily had championship opportunities. She hasn't been able to get to that #1 contender status. And I'm sure she'll be looking to that with this Survivor Series match, looking to use this as a springboard for her to get to that Raw Women's Championship, to go and face off against Becky Lynch, go and face off with Alexa Bliss, or Rhea Ripley, or Becky Lynch, or Shayna Baszler, whoever ends up with that Raw Women's Championship. Wait a second, Shayna Baszler on the outside, attacking Becky Lynch, come on! Becky throwing Shayna Baszler into those steel steps. Shayna Baszler trying to take it to Lynch on the outside, but of course the Rousey and Charlotte, they're the women who are competing in this match right now. And there you go, the Piper's Pit there from Ronda Rousey in the middle of the ring. Is that going to be able to put away Charlotte while Shayna and Becky fighting on the outside? Who thought it was a good idea to put these two on the same team? Come on, this is not a sensible idea from Batista. I don't know why he's thought about doing this. Shayna Baszler just dominating Becky Lynch on the outside. Now Shayna, come on. What on earth are you doing? Getting the steel steps. Can't use those steps because her team will be disqualified. But whether she cares about that is another question. Charlotte. Oh my goodness, I was going to go back to the ring, but Becky Lynch slams onto the stairs. Ronda Rousey kicking out at 2. There is too much going on right now. Shayna Baszler climbing up to the top. Drop kick to Charlotte in the middle of the ring. And Ronda Rousey to get herself back to her feet. To be able to get herself back with complexion. And now Ronda and Charlotte back in the middle of the ring. Becky Lynch still down on the outside. And Ronda locking in the armbar. Is that enough to put away Charlotte Flair? Is Charlotte going to tap to the armbar with Becky Lynch back to her feet somehow after being body slammed onto the steel stairs on the outside, breaking up the submission. And now Ronda pulling Charlotte out to her feet, and Ronda clearly doing most of the work in this match. Judo throw there to Charlotte. Charlotte getting to the outside, trying to get away from Ronda Rousey right now. But you can't deny all 4 of these women potential future Raw Women's Champions. And on Becky Lynch's case, obviously she has been one before, but I'm sure she will be a Raw Women's Champion again here in Universe Mode. But Ronda and Charlotte going at it right now. Charlotte now getting the hot tag into Becky Lynch. Not necessarily the smartest move, but Charlotte was desperate for the tag. But Becky not in a good place. And Shayna was actually looking for the tag right there. Looking to tag with Ronda. Well, perhaps because of the damage is already done to Becky Lynch, but I don't know if you should want to go in there. Becky still fired up in this one. She is not letting up in the slightest. But Ronda catching her with a big right hand to Becky. And now working over the arm of Lynch. These two women, both of them with a big arm submission as their finisher. Oh my goodness, over the top she goes. Ronda taken over the top. Wait a second, Shayna though getting in from behind the ref, and now trying to attack Becky Lynch. Where on earth is Charlotte right now? Charlotte nowhere around to help out her tag team partner for the night. Baszler taking it to Lynch once again. But Becky catching Shayna, throwing her into the ring post, and Shayna dazed. And now Becky trying to take advantage of Ronda Rousey, turning onto a bit of a 2-on-1 for Becky Lynch right now. Charlotte Flair not having any interest in getting involved in this, not wanting to help out her tag team partner that much. And after being thrown into the ring post, Shayna Baszler now stomping Becky Lynch into the ground on the outside. Ronda Rousey climbing back out, not wanting that count-out victory, wanting to be able to beat Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair here tonight. Of course, if you get a victory over a former Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, that would be a huge way to show that you are deserving of a future Raw Women's Championship opportunity. Becky having to get that hot tag into Charlotte Flair, but Charlotte immediately being caught by Ronda Rousey. Now Rousey getting Charlotte back up to her feet, taking her down, but Charlotte reversing, taking her down to the mat, and big spear from Charlotte. Is that enough to put away Ronda Rousey? Ronda has been in the action a lot in this one. 1, 2. Oh, just kicking out of the spear from Charlotte. Ronda Rousey needs that tag right now. She desperately needs that tag. Trying to knock Lynch off the apron, but not being able to do it. Charlotte Flair taking advantage, slamming down Ronda Rousey into the mat. And this could be it for Ronda. This could be spelling the end. Charlotte dragging her over to the corner, looking for that tag with Becky Lynch. Not necessarily the smartest idea, but tagging into Lynch. Both these women taking a lot of damage in this one. Lynch obviously a lot more than Charlotte has. Charlotte took her time and didn't get involved, but hey ho, each to their own, I guess. Ronda Rousey, judo throw, and into that Fujiwara armbar. Is it going to be enough? Is Becky Lynch going to tap out? There's no Charlotte Flair repaying the favour to Becky Lynch from earlier in the match, breaking up the armbar herself this time. Ronda Rousey, I don't know. She is a machine to still just be fighting. She has so much stamina to still be in there doing this. She hasn't tagged with Shayna Baszler. She only tagged once in this entire match to Shayna Baszler. And Shayna was only in there for about 2 moves. Now Ronda getting rid of Charlotte Flair. Is she looking to put away Becky Lynch right now? It certainly looks like it, getting Becky up to her feet. And again, throwing her down, judo throw into the Fujiwara armbar, but the ropes, too close to the ropes. Becky managed to get her feet to the ropes. Disappointing for Ronda. Shows some of her skills aren't necessarily as far along as she'd want them to be, but at this time again, a 3rd time the Fujiwara armbar. Is this going to be enough? Is Becky Lynch going to be forced to tap out middle of the ring? You got to think it's going to be likely. This is a former UFC champion, but Becky managing to get around, getting around. The arm's still locked in. But Becky, the punches to the face, forcing Ronda to break the hold before she breaks Becky Lynch's arm. And now Becky Lynch trying to do something to Ronda Rousey. Ronda throwing Becky over the top ropes. And now Ronda finally tagging in to Shayna Baszler. Shayna like a vulture in this one here to pick at the bones of what's left as she laughs in the middle of the ring, laughing at Becky Lynch. But Becky Lynch catching Shayna. She's got her. The armbar. Is this going to be enough to disarm her? Is Shayna Baszler going to tap out? Oh, getting her arm out somehow. Shayna Baszler caught by surprise. It was almost all over, and now roll up 1. Oh, the ropes. My goodness, that would have been a huge upset. Well, I shouldn't say, well, not an upset, but it would have been a huge moment for Becky Lynch to finally put away Shayna Baszler. Shayna, over the top she goes. And now throwing Becky Lynch into the corner. And all trying to go for the running knee, but Becky moving out of the way, forcing Shayna to knee into the turnbuckle. Becky Lynch looking to take advantage of this. Locking in the arm, and then the suplex, doing more damage to the arm of Shayna Baszler. Wanting to lock in that, disarm her one more time so that she can tap out Shayna Baszler. Finally prove to Shayna Baszler that she can put her away. But now Becky throwing Shayna into the corner, perhaps looking for a tag with Charlotte, but Shayna reversing, not allowing it to happen, but Becky reversing again. Multiple reversals between these two, and now Shayna trying to get rid of Charlotte. knocking her off the outside. And the running knee to the side of the head of Becky Lynch, and now Shayna in the corner waiting for Ronda. But instead deciding, no, I'm going to do this myself. Calling Becky Lynch up to her feet. And this is not a good sign. The Kirifuda clutch. Charlotte nowhere to be seen. Is Becky Lynch going to be forced to tap out? Yes, she is. But you can't blame Becky Lynch. Shayna and Ronda, they really did a number on Lynch in that match. They really took it to Lynch. And it wasn't particularly a fair match between these guys, but they've gone at it tonight. But you have to remember, these guys have to team up at Survivor Series. I think Batista thought this was going to put their issues behind them, but I think it's made the issues worse between these women. I don't think this was a good idea at all for Batista to do this going into Survivor Series. Perhaps just shouldn't have put Becky Lynch in the team. I think if we don't put Becky Lynch in this team, everyone kind of gets along. But Batista's made his decision, and for tonight, Shayna and Ronda stand tall by themselves, but there is Team Raw for Survivor Series. Shayna, Ronda, Charlotte and Becky. Will they be able to get along when it comes to Survivor Series? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.